Alright, well, we know you guys just bought an HDS. Now, there are some things that you can do to your locator to actually make it run at its optimal performance depending on what kind of area you're fishing. The first thing you should do when you get your locator is install the transducer. And it's a simple process. All you do is you hit menu twice, into the sonar, go all the way down to the bottom where it says installation, and select enter. Now you're going to notice on the bottom it's going to say transducer type. Once it's highlighted with that blue ring, you hit enter and it's going to pop up a whole list of transducer options. Now the transducer that you receive right out of the box is going to have a code on it. Right at the top it's going to say hdssetup.wmv. What you need to do is go through the list and find that transducer, which is that one right there. Now if you have a PDWBL, you need to select that one right there. But we're going to select this, and then we're going to save it. Now we have our transducer, which is customized to our locator. So if I go through and change my frequency, it's going to flip it to 83 or 200. It eliminates the 50 out of that frequency category. The second thing we're going to do is we are going to go through that same menu twice, sonar, down to fishing mode, select enter, and you're going to notice that it brings up several different options. Now it comes preloaded as general use. What general use is 0 to 2,000 feet. Shallow water is 0 to 100 feet, and freshwater is 0 to 400 feet. So seeing I fish in Minnesota, I'm going to make sure shallow water is highlighted, select enter, and now what that does is it will custom tailor your sonar to operate at peak performance, so it's not looking for 2,000 feet all the time. It stops looking at 100 feet when you're in shallow water mode, and when you're in freshwater mode it quits looking at 400 feet for bottom. The next thing that we are going to do is, if you want to change the color palette, which I like to do because I prefer color palette number 1, the reason being is it gives me a lot better bottom hardness content, which I like to see up here in Minnesota. I like to see my transitions a lot easier on color palette number 1. To do that, you hit menu, go down to sonar options, push over, you'll see a deal that says palette. You'll hit enter there, and you can go all the way up to color palette number 1, which will bring up the traditional Lowrance colors that we've had preloaded on the units in the past. Yellow being the hardest, blue being a soft object. Just doing those functions and features will allow you to run your unit at optimal performance. Now, with previous LCX LMS models, I've really tinkered with the settings quite a bit. With the HDS, when it's selected in auto sensitivity, you really don't need to mess with anything. It pretty much runs itself.